Computer is electromechanical device, takes input, processes it and gives you the output. Most of the time, computer cannot do anything unless and until I give the input. What would be the input for the computer? I can give data as the input to get the information after processing, or I can feed the instruction as the input to the computer to get the output. So what happens when I input instruction to the computer? It processes it and acts exactly as the instruction which has been inputted. Next question, why I have to give instruction to the computer? I have to give instruction to the computer because computer cannot do anything by itself. Why it can't do anything by itself? Because it doesn't have intelligence. That's why I have to give instructions. It takes instructions, processes it, and it works exactly as the instruction given to it. So why we give instruction? Instruction will be given to perform specific task. For example, addition of two numbers. If at all you consider the task code as addition of two numbers, it is not single instruction. It will be a group of actions. That's why one instruction cannot do anything. We have to give multiple instructions to the computer to perform a specific task. For example, addition of two numbers. So I can tell you that group of instructions is called as a program, whereas a group of programs is called as a software. The instructions or group of instruction I give one by one or in a group. Then a computer is going to execute the instruction one after another in sequential manner to give you the intended output. Now, if at all I would like to give instruction to the computer, it should be in the form that the computer can understand it. But please do remember, computer can understand only two words, that is 0 and 1. So why 0 and 1? As the computer is containing electronic devices, I can talk to electronic devices only in terms of voltage, in terms of current. That current will be represented in the form of low and high. So that's why my computer can understand only zeros and ones. What I mean to say you is, if at all you would like to give instruction to the computer, it must be in the form of zeros and ones. Please do remember, if at all I give instructions in the form of zeros and ones to the computer, then it is called as machine level language or low level language. But we have some problem with machine level or low level language. What's that? As I have to give the instruction in terms of zeros and ones, it is very hard for me to remember the instructions, and the instructions will be very long. So that's why it works out very difficult. It works out very heavy for us to give the instruction to the computers in the form of zeros and ones. That's why in olden days, most of the people would never like to go with the system, would never like to go with the computers. By considering this disadvantage, In computer world, one more type of computer language was introduced called as assembly level language. In assembly level language, instead of giving instruction in terms of zeros and ones, we were making use of mnemonics. Mnemonics can be written like this: M-N, mnemonics here, M is silent. What exactly these mnemonics are? For example, if at all, whenever I am reading, if I find this particular symbol, I say, therefore. Whenever I find this kind of things in textbook, I never read it as IE dot, I read it as that is. IE is having some predefined meaning, and these three dots are having what? Some predefined meaning. Like that, here, instead of zeros and ones, in assembly level language, we would like to give the instructions like this. Add 5, 6, where this add is mnemonic, 5, 6 are data, or I can say numbers. Do you think the computer can understand add? No. As I've already told you, computer can understand only zeros and ones. Add, it is not understood by computer. That's why in assembly level language, we were using one system software called as assembler. What this assembler is? Assembler is a system software to what this mnemonic and these numbers are fed, which will be converted into zeros and ones, and these zeros and ones will be fed to the system. Remember, this assembler used to act as a translator for a mnemonics and number to zeros and ones. Now people started getting close towards what the computer, why? Because it was a bit user friendly. But then too there was one problem with assembly level language. That was this assembly level language was machine dependent. What I mean by machine dependent? Our system is made up of so many peripherals, among the processor is one. These processors are named like P4, I3, I5, I7. For example, you can take this. Remember, this mnemonic, this assembly level language was different for different processors. What I mean to say is, if at all I learn a mnemonic, if at all I learn assembly level language for P4, and if I write a program using it, it was running, that instruction was getting executed only in P4, not in I3, I7 and some other processors. That's why we call it as machine dependent. Again, there was a problem. When I upgrade my system, when I have a different processor, a program which has been already written was not executing in a new processor. Again, people started getting frustrated. How many times the same program has to be written? How many times a new language has to be learned? Different instructions has to be learned. To overcome this problem, one more new kind of languages has been introduced, that is high level languages. So high level language, a C language, what we learn is called as high level language. In high level language, we had instructions which were similar to common English words like print, display, read, input, and so on. For example, in C language, as it is high level language, if at all I would like to print hello on a screen, I give instruction like this: print under double quotes hello. This is how I give. Print hello. Print is a command which prints something on a screen. I am commanding my system, I am instructing my computer to print hello on a screen. What I mean to say is printf is output statement. Understood? But like assembly level language, even printf is not understood by computer. Then what must be done? Again, this high level language has to be converted to low level language, that is machine level language. That's what happened, We used a system software called as compiler. Previously what we used in assembly level language, we used assembler. Here we are using compiler. What this compiler will do? It takes this high level instructions, takes high level programs and converts them into zeros and ones, that is machine level language. Following me? So that's why we were using what compiler. Now you may ask me, what is the difference in between high level language and assembly level language? See, in assembly level language, we use mnemonics. In high level language, we use common English like commands. Second thing, in assembly level language, we use assembler as a translator which translates assembly level language to machine level language, whereas in high level language, we make use of compiler to translate. But third difference, I will tell you the difference in between assembly level and high level. Assembly level language was machine dependent, but high level language is machine independent. Which one do you like to go with? Obviously, we would like to go with high level language. Why? Because write it once and you can execute on any processor, no matter what processor you are making use of. It is not computer dependent, it is computer independent. There are so many high level languages: C, C++, Java, Python, PHP, and so on. It is not a good question to ask which language we need to learn, because each and every language is introduced with some intention. All languages cannot be used for all purposes. Understood? Most of the time in olden days, if at all you would like to write a programs for electronic devices, we used to make use of C language. And if at all you would like to develop a websites, you'll be making use of PHP and some other languages. If at all you would like to write what the apps for your mobile, you'll be using a language or operating system called as Android. All are not same. Syntax may be same, but purposes will be different. So, C language is called as high level language. Before learning about a language, it is very essential for us to learn about algorithms. What exactly algorithm is, we will learn in next session.